We have just got from the stage Dr. Prash from Enosis Therapeutics. How you feeling, mate?
I'm great. That was an excellent reception. I'm very glad at how interested everyone was.
Man of my own heart. Just got to say, so many names that you were dropping in there. You know, Terence McKenna, Aldous Huxley, all these guys that I grew up just working with, reading their works. But Enosis, you gave a definition to the crowd. Could you just maybe share that? Because I know it's got so much to do with the story that you are bringing to the world at the moment.
Yeah. So Enosis is an old Greek word for union, and I think the basis of everything we do is how we marry old world wisdom with new world technology in a marriage where tech can be friend and not foe, even with these deep, profound, ancient wisdoms.
And you are bringing psychedelic-assisted therapies into Australia at the moment, and you are implementing. What has this journey been like for you? Because I know that's challenging landscape, right? Since, as you mentioned, from the 60s to where we are now. What has that been like to really bring it to the forefront?
Well, I'd say for the first 8 years of the last 12-year journey, it's been like pushing a massive turd uphill. um, because this is an industry that has been born out of complete lack of top-down support. In fact, full top-down resistance for the longest while, and it's been taking a huge education piece to get it to where it is now. Now we're in a very interesting position where Australia became the first country in the world to legalise psychedelics, and I think a lot of our work pushing this forward has gotten there. But it is hard to access, it's expensive, and there are a lot of barriers to entry, more than anything a lack of a reimbursement piece. And so that's why a lot of our work now is how can we reduce the cost of, how can we improve accessibility to, and how can tech play a role in doing so?
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that, because you told me the cost of what this therapy, and great therapy, the work that it does, but at the moment the price point is very expensive. But you were talking about how you're trying to integrate virtual reality and new technology to bring that down. What are you working on at the moment?
I mean, I'll preface this by saying that as much as the cost is really expensive, think of it more like surgery. Right? Like you can take an anti-cholesterol medication for the rest of your life, but at some point you might consider that you need heart surgery, and that heart surgery will cost you 50 grand. No one shies away from that idea. And in a lot of ways, I would analogize to this being something similar in the form of almost like a psychosurgery. And if it can be a short, circumscribed intervention that can extricate you from years of suffering in the long run, then I think it becomes quite worthwhile. Even then, though, it is expensive. And the number of tools that we're developing. One is a virtual reality-based integration tool that effectively will never replace a therapist, but it can look to automate a lot of what a therapist would otherwise do, to be able to reduce that cost. Think of it like a therapist sparing tool. There are a couple of other tools that we're developing, including an app that therapists can use in the dosing rooms, including a remote administration tool for psychedelic dosing rooms that reduces a certain human resource cost. So these are a couple of different things that we're thinking about. As we work in the system, it becomes acutely aware to us all the different inefficiencies which we can optimize.
And working with psychedelics is no light task, right? We're going deep, we're going to the depths of our souls to bring back. What did you say? It's like fishing with explosive? Dynamite fishing?
Yeah, it is a bit like dynamite fishing. And think of the psychedelic as a bit like the dynamite, and tossing it in a lake and having the fish all rise up to the surface. And the fish are these insights that emerge from the experience. And all you're trying to do in psychedelic therapy is try and scoop up that fish and keep it fresh, and then use that to turn it into psychobehavioral change going forward, which is what I metaphorize as dinner. But yes, how can we do that most effectively? How can we keep those insights fresh for as long as possible? And how can we cook that dinner in as cost-efficient a manner as possible, so that we can feed as many people as we possibly can with the limited resources we have?
Yeah, and what's the traction been like at the moment, and what's the trajectory right now for Enosis Therapeutics?
Yeah, well, we've had our VR product as a therapist-led tool already in use. We'll be launching an entirely direct-to-consumer self-guided tool, so that anyone with a VR headset will be able to just download the app off the Meta Store. And if you've had an altered state experience, you can go through a 6-week integration program just on your own. Again, not to replace a therapist, but to aid with that process. So that will launch in the next, I imagine, 3 months. And then we're running a clinical trial starting in probably another month or so, which will incorporate a number of different things. It will incorporate the VR tool, it will incorporate our remote administration tool, and we're also investigating a model of care delivery that we've developed that we think will cut the cost of psychedelic therapy down significantly. So that starts in a few weeks and will go for about a year.
Ah, how exciting, mate. And last of all, something tech, something fest, places like this. Why do you think it's just so important for things like this to exist? And because we got to hear you, but from your perspective, why is this so crucial, like right here and now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, firstly, the ability to have a concentration point where IP can congregate is enormously important. Like the cross-pollination that comes from something like this, the ideas that come up just from listening to other people speak, pulls people out of their little echo chambers, and that's incredibly useful. I feel very honored to be asked to speak at something like this, and I'm a psychiatrist. Most of the conferences I speak at are medical conferences or scientific congresses, and I've always believed that that psychedelics have played a very big role in the development of so many of the most important tech innovations over the last 100 years. Mm-hmm. And even if you go back to the discovery of DNA by Francis Crick, right? And so in that way, I've always seen the relevance of a discussion on psychedelics as a disruptive technology that seeks to open up our mind state. But I'm just very glad that a conference also recognized that. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing, mate. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you.